Good morning and welcome back to White Mountains Today here on White Mountain TV 16. Joining us right here is Thomas Prindle from Purity Spring Resort. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Rob. This is such a beautiful morning. The
Isn't
weather
it just unbelievable
this
outside
weekend
this
is just
morning?
absolutely perfect. I mean, we've had a heat wave stretch, which is certainly enjoyable to be going up high to cool off or swimming in deep to cool off. And, the Mount Washington Valley and the White Mountains are just a great place to be this time of year. So.
Absolutely. And Purity Spring Resort, you were just rattling off what you have going. There's a lot going on at Purity Spring Resort. So
I make appearances here for King Pine Ski Area in the wintertime a lot. I'm not up here as much in the summertime because I'm so busy down at Purity Spring Resort. And we're not the type of ski area that transitions to public attractions per se, but certainly when the snow melts, it turns into lake life and all types of summer fun down there with Purity Spring Resort and our guests. And we just are offering so much in terms of recreational activities for our guests. And every day of the week there's something going on. Our recreational staff have coordinated. We're definitely out on the lake watersking and wakeboarding and kneeboarding. And we've got kayaks and canoes and stand-up paddle boards for guests to be enjoying. And I was looking at some of the activities going on today. We've got an Autobahn walk scheduled this morning that's going to be heading out. And then we've got, tie-dye t-shirt making, which you have on display here. So this is, just one of the activities that our guests can be doing. We've got archery scheduled. We've got an indoor climbing wall. We've got canoe trips scheduled. We've got just everything going on down there. It's a really unique, Purity Spring Resort is akin to what people might think of when the movie Dirty Dancing, where it's just we have families that have been coming up for almost 50 years. We've got generations of families that come up, and this is they may not have a second lake home, but this is their second home where they come up and they spend an entire week or even sometimes 2 weeks. And they're just enjoying everything that's going on there.
Well, you mentioned about these Monday morning breakfasts. What is that? That sounds
like fun. Sort of part of the summer fun traditions is all summer long we offer as part of sort of the week's vacation for our guests, but these are also available to the public to attend. So tomorrow morning, every Monday morning during the summertime, we have a breakfast cookout on what is called Rocky Point. So it's a beautiful. If people don't know, Purity Spring Resort is located just down on Route 153. On Purity Lake there in Madison, New Hampshire, and the Rocky Point is almost across from. You wouldn't be able to see it as you drive by on the road. It's down what we call Sunset Beach Road, but our guests can paddle out or kayak out to the there, or people can walk out to Rocky Point, and or people can drive out there too. And we just do it's basically breakfast cooked over a campfire.
That's awesome.
We've got owner Bob Hoyt is actually out there cooking up cheese omelets, and we've got bacon going on out there, and fresh coffee cake in the morning and everything like that. But it's just a really unique experience that people can enjoy. And then every Thursday evening we do lobster cookouts, which are arguably one of New England's longest running lobster bakes. I mean, Purity Spring Resort has been hosting guests since 1911, and this tradition of the Thursday evening lobster cookout has been going on forever. And we do that one on Purity Island, which people can see from Route 153. Yeah. But that's an amazing. I mean, that's your lobster, steak, chicken, hamburgers, and all the fixins, corn, steamed corn, and all the side dishes, potato salads, and dessert, and everything's included with that. So that's definitely a sort of a dining experience that's really unique.
Oh, that's
to
great.
Purity Spring Resort.
That's great because good old lobster feed is so much fun.
Yeah, and it's that's a summer tradition.
Eating lobster outdoors on a table or on your knees or however, the wobbly plate on your knees.
Yeah.
But there's something about eating lobster outdoors that just takes it to another level.
And it's an ideal location there at Purity Island. I mean, we've got all the picnic benches out there, and you can see, we're serving out there, we're steaming them out there, and it's just a beautiful, picturesque location. Right there at Purity Spring Resort. And then in addition to that, we're talking about, this is some of the things that our Traditions Restaurant and Pub staff put on, but also Traditions Restaurant and Pub is sort of a hidden gem in terms of restaurants. I mean, I think it's one of the only lakeside dining experiences kind of relatively close by here in the Mount Washington Valley. And they've got an incredible new summer menu. I mean, they're using, sort of fresh, locally sourced produce and seasonable products, and they do a really great menu. And every Friday evening they do this mostly for our guests, but again, the public are welcome. It's a grand table buffet where it's we do ice carvings, and it's just a real pretty elaborate spread of food for people to enjoy. But otherwise, I mean, we're open 4 to 9 p.m. Daily there at Traditions Restaurant, and we've got a beautiful screened-in porch with a view of the lake, and you can go down there and at least, you know, have a cocktail or a local craft draft. There's a shot of the pub right there. And it's just a great location that I don't think a lot of people look at. And we're looking at some photos here. You can see some of what families can be enjoying when they're staying at Purity Spring Resort. We got beautiful Purity Lake. Fortunately, I'm one of the boat drivers scheduled weekly, which is a great experience to be out
absolutely.
there and driving guests. And it's really cool to be getting families and their kids up on, you know, water skis and wakeboard and kneeboards for the first time. It's very cool.
Yeah, no, you know, and it's one of those things. There's probably a lot of people who, of course, come to Purity Spring Resort. They go to King Pine and they've done downhill skiing.
Absolutely, yeah.
But have they tried water skiing? And there are definitely similarities, but it's also very different.
It is very different, but it is one of those sports akin to snow skiing where you can learn it. You can progress, you can get better at it, and it's just one of those personal challenges that it's real fun to be doing. I know personally I love water skiing, and we have a slalom course down there, and it's a great sport, and definitely the similarities there in terms of the carve for sure. I mean, if you can be skiing on a nice flat glassy morning on a slalom ski and you can lay it over and get that carve. There's a lot of similar feelings there. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I always like when you're water skiing and you can go kind of make your way up alongside the boat because you go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you cut right out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean 2 skis, 1 ski, however you want to do it, and
so
wakeboarding and wake surfing. And we don't offer wake surfing, but definitely wakeboarding. It is a really cool experience. And one of the things that Purity Spring Resort, I should mention, is that we're also a great wedding venue.
Oh, of course.
In terms of offering summit venues and lakeside venues. We were just recently included as top 5 by WMUR's Channel 9 New Hampshire best wedding venues as voted by their viewers. So that was a pretty cool accolade to get receive. And then also this morning, I think people are going to see an article in the Boston Sunday Globe travel section highlighting Purity Spring Resort in terms of like what families can look at in terms of what a person might remember as an experience at a summer camp.
Yeah.
But Purity Spring Resort, it's bringing your family, and you get a lot of that. Again, I say lake life as it should be. I grew up with my folks having a second home on a lake, and I got to experience that and live that every single summer. But Purity Spring Resort really offers that experience to people that may not have a second home, where they can really experience the lake. I mean, we've got beautiful sandy beaches. We always have canoes, kayaks, and stand-up paddle boards available for people to take out. We've got that giant iceberg that you just saw a photo of that kids can climb up. Purity Spring Resort is it's such a pristine, clean lake. What you can see there for just natural wildlife. I mean, we've got the loon pair that are hatching eggs, but with all the fish, I mean, I love seeing kids just really enjoy, just put the phone away.
Right.
And just enjoy just the subtleties of being on a lake, and just looking at little fish and crayfish, and just discovering frogs and the turtles. It's just
absolutely
it's so cool. And again, with what our recreational staff can be offering for activities and fun times. I mean, they got teen night, we've got family sing-alongs, we've got campfires going every night, and the food. I mean, it's full food service if you want to take advantage of that package. I mean, we've got a package rate that it just includes everything, where the family comes up and just everything's included, all your meals, all your activities, all your fun. You don't have to think about a
that's
thing.
awesome.
So yeah, it's definitely a unique place.
Well, that's great. And if people want to get some more information,
PuritySpringResort.com is the best place to go. And we've got some events coming up this fall. I definitely want to mention we've got the second edition of the King Pine CX. It's a King Pine cyclocross event that's going to be hosted this September.
Yep, I remember
and
that
then
from
fall's
last year.
right around the corner, and we'll be hosting our King Pine annual Brouhaha, which is a great sort of family fun event featuring a lot of local beers and great music. So PuritySpringResort.com, and definitely, if people are staying in the Mount Washington Valley, there's a lot of great places to be staying, but just south of here, just only 15-20 minutes south of here, is Purity Spring Resort. I mean, you've got access to the Mount Washington Valley, the White Mountains, also the Lakes region.
Right.
It's a great place, and I won't go into it at any length, but the Hoyt family owns and operates Danforth Bay Campground and RV Park right there in Freedom, New Hampshire on Ossipee Lake.
Everybody loves that place.
So that's another, I'll
yeah.
have to come back another time to talk about that, because that's one of New Hampshire's largest RV park and campgrounds, and it's right on Danforth Bay. That's a beautiful place and just massive. It's an alternate option whether you want to be tenting. You've got a big RV. We've also got cabins you can rent there, and not too far away from Purity Spring Resort. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, Tom, it sounds like there's a lot to do.
There's a lot to do there for sure, and thanks for having me on. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it,
So
Rob.
definitely check that out. Go to purityspringresort.com, get all the information, and have some fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we'll be back here in a minute on White Mountains Today.